Hello, I'm Tim Smith with the Adams County Historical Society, and welcome to an edition of Monuments Monday. A couple things here. Early in the spring in Gettysburg, it can be very windy, and today's a very windy day out, so we decided to film inside. Also, since our big season is coming up and we're going to be out there filming on the battlefield every week, I thought if anybody's interested in a certain topic that we can cover for you, put your comments down, or put in the comments section what monuments you would like us to cover or visit. Now, a lot of people ask me all the time, and I've talked about this before, but we got another email about it. What books can I read to learn more about the monuments? Obviously, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of books that cover the Battle of Gettysburg. But there are a few books that cover the topic, the monuments on the battlefield. I've talked a lot about these different books before, but I'll just review them. I recommend New York at Gettysburg and Pennsylvania at Gettysburg. These, usually can't buy these in reprinted form, but you can pick them up on eBay or look at them at your public library. The New York at Gettysburg is printed in 3 volumes, and it basically is every dedication ceremony of every New York monument. And it has a dedication speech in it, and it has correspondence dealing with the erection of the monuments from the state of New York, along with like the New York State Memorial and some other monuments. So I recommend that. In Pennsylvania at Gettysburg. And again, you can either get these in your public library, you can buy them on eBay or Amazon, or these are actually on Internet Archives, and you can actually go to the Internet Archives and you can read them online, which I know a lot of people like to do now. So other states have books about their monument dedications at Gettysburg. Maine at Gettysburg, for instance, or I mentioned last week, Ohio at Gettysburg. And a lot of these are available also on the Internet Archives. Some other books that I might suggest. I picked up this not long ago, well, a few years ago, but New Jersey actually, in 2013, I believe it was, published a book about all the New Jersey monuments at Gettysburg. And it was done by Dave Martin. Of course, he's from New Jersey. And in it, they have like chapters on the various regiments that fought at the Battle of Gettysburg from New Jersey, along with details of their monuments and monument dedications. And I learned a lot about New Jersey at Gettysburg by reading this book. And you can see it's all beat up. I used to carry it around with me as a tour guide. And when somebody was from New Jersey, I could just look up their county or their town and have a story about them. A couple older books that are really good about the monuments. 2 of them that were originally printed by Eastern National Parks, and that was the organization that used to run the bookstore for the old visitor center. But Wayne Craven did the sculptures of Gettysburg. And it doesn't have every monument in it, but it has information about many of the monuments, and it has information about the process that the monuments went through, from being a clay model to a bronze statue and such, and some interesting details about some of the more popular monuments. And I'm sure that this is available online. You can pick it up. And of course, the licensed battlefield guides, the president, Fred Hawthorne, was responsible for gathering information for the guides for a booklet, Gettysburg, Stories of Men and Monuments. And it is kind of a tour of the battlefield, and it goes from monument to monument and tells you about some of the larger and more impressive monuments, and tells you the story of the monument dedication and what the monuments represent. So it's very, very good, and I recommend it. I'm sure you can pick it up anywhere. I think it's still for sale around town in different stores. Also, if you're interested in learning more about the Southern monuments, David Martin did a book in, I believe, 1986, and it's Confederate Monuments at Gettysburg. And in this book, not only does he cover the story of the monuments for the various Southern states, about 20 of them placed by Southern states, but also he covers the markers and the tablets that are around the battlefield for the Army of Northern Virginia, and a little bit about the information, their inscription and what we know about those markers and tablets. And I should mention that the Gettysburg Battlefield Memorial Association turned over the care and preservation of the battlefield to the Gettysburg National Military Park Commission in the 1890s. And one of their last official acts decreed that a member of their organization will write a history of the Gettysburg Battlefield Memorial Association. And this is John Vanderslice's book, Gettysburg Then and Now. And not only is it a sort of a review of the battle and an early history of the GBMA, but it covers information about all the monuments on the battlefield that were placed up till that time. And again, this has been reprinted. So you could buy a reprint of it, or you could get an original of this online, I'm sure. And that's probably available also on the Internet Archives. Also, Kathy George Harrison, I believe when this came out, was the park historian for many years, and she did a book that lists the locations of the monuments and markers and tablets on the Gettysburg battlefield. So you can, at a glance, look them up in alphabetical order by state and the numerical designation by regiment or battery, and then, you can look up and learn where they're located on the battlefield, what avenue, and she adds the date of dedication in. And this is, again, this is a book that's been around for many years, and in various forms. You can still find it today. And of course, and I should mention, in our bookstore, we actually have a booklet called Gettysburg by the Numbers, which kind of mimics some of that information in that book, and you can buy that from us on our website. And, people are always publishing new guides to the Gettysburg monuments, and this is a book that was printed by Stackpole, and the author or editor is Tom Huntington, a good friend of ours, and he has a listing of most of the larger monuments with a photograph and their location on the battlefield. So beyond just using some of the internet websites, and I've mentioned those before, like Pocket Gettysburg, which you can download on your phone as an app, or the Stone Sentinels website, which you can go to online and look up the location of monuments, markers, and tablets. There are these books available that actually help you learn more about the monuments, the dedication ceremonies, and the process that was involved in erection of the monuments. And remember, if you like the content we put on our YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. And check out our website in the description here for GettysburgFilmFestival.org. And come out to the film festival and see notable historians, filmmakers, and actors such as Ken Burns.